Hello and welcome to The Lord of the Rings, The Battle for Middle-earth II. This is replay 28. Alright, let's go into replays and find ourselves a replay. Let's do a men on Buckland, I suppose. Because why not? I am running out of replays, so eventually I will run out, and then I may either just stop doing replays or just games I didn't want to record as a live commentary or a just regular gameplay, I will end up doing replays over. So we'll see how that goes. Who knows? So top left we have Destroyer as the men, which is myself, of course. We have Huggy, or Huge again. He's been in the game previous, a while back. We have the Long Con in the bottom right. He's in a lot of my games. And 0000 as the dwarves in the bottom left, with a very original name. And yeah. Anyway, I'm opening with a barracks and a... I already know I'm opening with a Boromir. I did play this game a few days ago. Actually, no, it was yesterday, I believe. So, even better, yesterday. So I do remember. This is a recent replay, actually. There's the Boromir. It's like I'm psychic. And I am also building an archery range, so the Boromir, Gondor Soldiers archery range thing. We have a Haldir from the elves here, and I believe he gets Glorfindel as well. I think he's already here. Yep, there's Glorfindel. And there's a Mouth of Sauron for Long Con. And he's also opening with 2 Haradrim Palaces. And then Dwarves open with a Gimli. And as you can see, Gimli beat me to the Cave Troll, so he is level 3 now. I'm still level 1. And there's no way a level 1 Boromir can take out Gimli. It's just suicide. But I do want to try and get some of this gold, at least. So I run back in right as he destroys it, and I managed to get 3 of the stacks of gold out of 4. So that's pretty good. So it's not complete loss. I didn't get the levels. But then I decided to go to this white layer here. And as you can see, the elves are already here. So that could be a problem, as they have already destroyed this one and got the money from that. I did send some troops to capture the middle. And they also started attacking this tower without my knowledge. I didn't even know there was guys in the tower. Excuse me. That's a builder, I think, actually. That explains why guys aren't dying. So yeah, there's an elven builder in the tower. And my Boromir and some soldiers start to engage these 2 elven heroes. So I decide to focus Glorfindel, since he's the one I don't want leveling up the most. And he dies faster than Haldir. Haldir doesn't do much damage. I think Haldir's pretty bad as an elven hero, to be perfectly honest. If he's not there as a person giving leadership, he's pretty useless. Later on, he gets pretty good, because his damage gets good enough to start one-shotting guys, like soldiers and whatnot. He's really good against orcs. And as you can see, the Mouth of Sauron has already got the ring. The ring is on, and he has found it. And he's using the Ring of Power to trample my men. So I'm definitely going to need some pikemen. I already have some pikemen, in fact. I wasn't even aware that I had some pikemen in this game. I was like, oh, I have some pikemen. I don't remember clicking on it. Dwarves have taken the outpost, so they will be generating extra money there. And he is pumping out battle wagons. Well, not pumping out, but he's building one, and he will build more. I do have Gondor soldiers, or knights, I guess, actually. So I have civilians as well. I have a pretty diverse army, actually. Soldiers, pikemen, knights and archers, and Boromir as well. So Gimli's actually in trouble. He went too deep and he doesn't have the ability to take on this entire army. So these guys can keep up with him. They can't, so I decided to attack something else with them. Does Gimli get away? Oh yeah, that's what I like to see. Gimli died. I wasn't sure he died here because I wasn't watching them. I was watching these guys. So I do kill a builder. I kill a tunnel, mineshaft, and I still have a pretty big army here. So I'm doing all right. And as you can see, this guy likes to use his battle wagon bugs. What you do is you equip your battle wagon with Men of Dale, and then you take it out and you put it back in, and it will start shooting from inside of the mineshaft. If you haven't seen that bug before, even after the mineshaft is destroyed, it will continue to shoot, which is so irritating. It is the dumbest bug ever. But that will be the bulk of the dwarves' defense, actually. Now that he's lost his Gimli, he doesn't have any barracks of any kind. He's relying solely on battle wagons. So the dwarves are in a lot of trouble, actually. He also, he's trying it here. And you can see the invisible things firing arrows. You don't want to fight near those, so they do have a long range. You want to get away from that as quickly as possible. Looks like he moved him over here because he saw me coming in that direction. And the elves have a pretty fearsome army, actually, along with Arwen. Arwen gets a flood at level 4, which is pretty crazy. So she can be pretty good to bring along. I think Arwen is actually better than Haldir, in my opinion. So yeah, she does alright damage, but she's pretty weak otherwise. But she can be mounted, so you can use her as a mounted hero, which is nice. And Gimli has returned, and he also has how many battle wagons? He has 2 battle wagons here. So as you can see, I'm losing all my archers and stuff. Not ideal for me, because I can't fight these guys while they're shooting from inside of the thing. And there's some Mordor troops coming as well, but the elves have moved out. So it looks like I'm going to retreat here. I don't feel I have enough troops. There's also a Sauron's here in here. The battle wagon is going to wreck these orcs without much trouble at all, actually. I decided to freeze these orcs and just get some experience off them, because I mean, it's free experience. They're not going anywhere. Meanwhile, the elves have moved out, and they're hesitant to go into this Mordor death trap that Longcon has made. If you upgrade Haradrim Palace to level 3, they get a little soldier on top who does archery, and then he has these archer towers as well. So he has a lot of arrows potentially coming out if you attack him, which is not good. You'll need a siege weapon of some kind. He does have an Entmoot, so potentially could see some Ents coming out from him. But here we have an engagement of elves and Mordor. Evil Eye from Mouth of Sauron is pretty good against troops. Not very good against heroes, sadly. It used to be a hero killer in patch 1.0. Those were the days where your heroes would just get one shot, basically. Not in this patch. He's very underwhelming. But he's a very tanky hero, and he has pretty good abilities still. Descent and Doubt are still very good. And this is pretty good to use on like archers or something. It'll take out a farm or some nonsense pretty well. So they're attacking. I am attacking dwarves again. This time I have Rohirrim. Well, I had Rohirrim. As you can see, they're being shot from way over here by these 3 battle wagons in this tower. Or mineshaft, I guess. And it looks like Mordor has pushed the elves back a little bit. So the elves back up to regroup, get some more troops. Let's see what level Arwen is. Arwen's level 3, so once she gets level 4, Flood will be pretty devastating against Mordor's armies. Because they're not very tough. And there you see Arwen going toe-to-toe with Mouth of Sauron. She doesn't really have the ability to do that, but she didn't do too bad, considering it's Arwen. So, she's not a terrible hero in this patch, like she is in patch 1.0. I also do put some Athelians in this tower. Figured fortifying this area would be a nice idea. Maybe I can go capture this outpost, get some extra resources, cut off the elves from getting a little bit of resource as well. And that's why Haldir isn't very good. He attacks quickly, but he takes 2 hits to kill a Haradrim archer. And he's like that with a lot of things. He'll take 2 or more hits to kill something. It's not until he gets like level 10 or something he actually starts killing things one hit, and his speed, attack speed, actually makes a difference. That's why I don't like my Haldirs. And there is a battle wagon saying to set fire to my tower. Strangely enough, he ran into the pikeman. Looks like he's trying to lure my pikeman into this tower, this mineshaft area. I don't want to be in range of that. This is no rules game, so he did build a tower. Towers are allowed here. And I do have Elven Cavalry in my base here, as you can see. Nobody wants Elven Cavalry in their base. Fortunately, my Boromir was in the vicinity, and I managed to get rid of them, but... So I hit them with the freeze. Not before losing a very expensive building, my stables, that was upgraded to level 2. I definitely don't want to lose this. This is a very expensive building for me. Level 3 archery range. You don't want to lose that. So I start barraging. Probably killing more troops of my own than anything, and setting fire to my own buildings. Not my best idea. I decided to barrage, and now there's a giant fire behind my base. But I do manage to save both of these structures. Well, potentially. This one is still burning. And comes the builder. If you have a fire problem, there is a builder option. Extinguish the fire. Apparently he doesn't know how. By the time he gets over there, it's pointless. But at this point, the elves have decided to attack me. And he does have siege weapons. He has some Ents here. Not to mention he has armor for his troops. And that arrow volley is going to decimate my archers. Yep, my archers are dead. I do have more now with me. But there's the power of Arwen. The flood. Yeah, that flood was devastating. Absolutely obliterated my army, and my Boromir dies here. And now I have Ents firing at my fortress. I'm in a bad spot here. I do have one thing of archers, but it's not going to be enough. I have set fire to one Ent. I think if I would have got the Ents down, I might have survived. But as you can see, my fortress is taking a lot of damage. Tons of damage here. But one Ent died, but will I be able to save it? Probably not. As my archers are balls deep in this fire in this army. So my only defense is now gone. And see, he doesn't actually have much left here. But I have nothing to stop the Ent, so I will lose here. Unfortunately. Boromir does manage to get out right in the nick of time. But sadly, my structures are all falling, and I am just about out of this game. Meanwhile, dwarves are attacking. There you go, Destroyer has been defeated. I am dead. Sad day for me. The dwarves definitely would have lost. I would have been able to beat the dwarves if elves didn't really surprise attack me, so that's the dangers of free-for-all. Even though you're fighting like one-on-one, it's not a one-on-one. It's a free-for-all. And you can get knocked out of the game quite easily by a surprise ent attack. So there you go. So now the elves are in a good position. They should have a good amount of power points, actually. They do have summon and allies now, as well as their Avolian heal. 4 power points remaining. Let's see what the other team's got. Mordor has Industry and Tainted Lamb, 2 power points, and Dwarves has only heal and 6 power points remaining. So, elves clearly in an advantage here. Not only in army, they have a pretty big army with some level 5 somethings. Archers? Or is that possibly the swordsman? Could even be the sentries, who knows? But he does have army advantage, he does have PowerPoint advantage, and his base is decently defended. He's got 3 arrow towers, which is not terrible. So the dwarves go around and decide to start attacking with their battle wagons. The arrows from the battle wagons do pretty good damage. As you can see, Arwen dying very quickly. But they cannot sit there and tank everything. They're not the most durable things. He does have a Gimli and a Gloin here. But surprisingly, you don't see a dwarf not playing with infantry at all. That is not something that usually happens. He's building a battle tower. But he has no barracks. He has no Hall of Warriors or whatever. So there will be no soldiers of any kind from the dwarves, which I think is a mistake. He's relying too solely on battle wagons, which aren't going to kill anybody, really. Battle wagons are nice for the stupid buggy defense and these mine shafts. And it looks like they're fighting over the outpost. Oh, Glorfindel barely gets away. That's unfortunate. But he will get in control of this outpost, start getting money. And he has a good amount of money. He possibly is saving for King Dane, I don't know. But he should be building troops at this point. Instead he's building towers, which really isn't going to help him much since he can't put any troops inside of them. They're kind of pointless. The only troops he has is Gimli and Gloin, which are not an army. They are an army in themselves, but you know what I mean. You need infantry to back them up. And these elves have upgrades. They have Silverthorns as well. That'll make a huge difference. Dwarves don't have much chance against the Silverthorn arrowed army, honestly. Especially since all he's using is battle wagons. If he properly positions his pikemen, which he might not do, will he take a thrashing here by these battle wagons? Yep. His pikemen are out of place, and he does lose a lot of archers here. But he manages to kill these battle wagons, it looks like. So that's good for the elves. He didn't lose that many troops. He didn't even lose the full battalion, in fact. Although there are other mounted units from the mounted heroes, which are also very good at crushing elves archers. Gimli barely managing to get away. Also, once Arwen's level 8, Arwen has a little heal, which is nice. It heals all heroes in the vicinity, as well as herself. So that is very nice indeed to have. This guy's going a little crazy with the towers, but in a no-rules game, I guess that's fair game. But I feel this is a wrong move. For the amount of money he's spending on these towers, he could have built a barracks and an army and upgrades and all that. So that's a little silly. Also, we have a Momokill pen here. The Momokill is always fun to watch in in combat. If used properly, it's pretty good. But it can die very quickly if targeted down. Especially, I think one group of pikemen is all it takes to kill moment kill. Which is sad. But, you know, it is a cavalry unit of sorts. So he does have his King Dane now. And he also has his Gimli here. And the elves are trying to harass some mine shafts with his, ooh. I didn't realize the axe would kill so many. But yeah, he's trying to harass with his Rivendell Lancers. That's what they're good for, I think. Rivendell Lancers aren't really good for straight up fighting. They're good for harassing and surprise ambushes against cavalry or archers and such. As most cavalry are. But yeah, the dwarf. I don't know why these are like bugged out. Like I can barely click on it. It's really dark looking. I'm sure you can see that. Sometimes buildings do that in replays. It's weird. Mordor's base is pretty hellish, honestly. All these Haradrim palaces will fire arrows if anyone is near. So that's pretty insane. And he's got tons of these little barricade expansions on his fortress as well, which will be firing arrows. So, lots of arrows to be had here. They also have the fire arrow upgrade, as you can see on their little animation. And the little orc archer, there's a fire arrow, so he does have that upgrade. Also, the more noticeable part is this little brazier at the top. When that is there, there is fire arrows on the fortress. See what's going on up here. Just a little harassment of mine shafts, it looks like. He's trying to stop 2 heroes with a battle wagon. That's not going to work. I don't think this guy realizes how not to use battle wagons. And that is one way not to use the battle wagon. They're not very good against heroes. And there goes a builder. Slaughtered. No chance. And these 2 mounted heroes, the elves, shouldn't have any trouble getting away from these dwarves. Except for Gimli if he uses Slayer, but he didn't, so that's not an issue. I'm not sure if a mounted hero can outrun a Gimli with Slayer. I know Glorfindel can because he has that super speed power. Wind Rider, 60% speed. That's quite a bit. The other one, I don't know. So it looks like everyone's sitting back for a little bit, trying to build up their force. There's a lot of pikemen here, lots of Haradrim archers, and some orcs to round out his army. Looks like he is not happy with Glorfindel taking his flag, so he is trying to kill him. And looks like he manages to push him away. And we have an eagle from the elf team. Eagles are allowed in this game. Also, Arwen died, which is always nice to see. But he has very little defense against this eagle. He has Haradrim archers, but not tons. But his base is well defended against eagle. Also, these fire arrows. The level 3 Haradrim palace, which is strange. And it looks like the elves finally decided to move out here. Moving across the way to attack the dwarves, it looks like. I believe that is a good choice. The dwarves are the weaker of the 2. So if he can farm power points off the dwarves, the more the merrier. And he can use his powers against the Mordor to make his life a lot easier. Gimli doing a leap there, killing a lot of elven troops. You don't want to bunch up your troops too much like that. But he still has a lot of troops remaining. And now he's going to find out why these towers were a waste of money. Yeah, these axe towers aren't very good against Ents, it seems. So he summons his Ents. Also, he brings his eagle in. I did just hear a moment kill as well. But that's not over here. It's in the other base. And the Dwarven Fortress is probably going to go down here. especially since he has an army and ants attacking it. It is definitely going to go down. It is down. There it goes. Buggy little animation there. And 0000 has been defeated. So, the Ents now... Not the Ents. The Elves have 21 power points. So he is 4 power points away from his level 25 power. Mordor still sitting down below that. 15 power points. He's got industry at least. He has a pretty good base defense setup. And he is putting a lot of farms together to... this isn't ideal for money, but you can keep all your command points up, and you're able to build your army up there. Because the elves can hold a 925 command point army limit, and he can hold a 900. But he is just sitting in the back of a corner, as for the elves have all these trees all around. Elves are obviously making a lot more money, and that's what you want. But if you're defending and you have to keep your army up, building them together like this isn't a bad thing, because it allows you to keep them safe. And here we have some frowned upon firebombs. Firebombs are very good against the ants. But in a no rules game, fireballs are fair game. They're firebombs, not fireballs. They're like mini fireballs though. Fire in this game is just destructive. So destructive. So now it's Elves versus Mordor. I don't remember who wins actually. So this should be interesting. We do have a Momokill with this army. Momokill's just the coolest unit in the game, I feel. It's just like epic size is just so cool and unmatched by anything. Plus it's a giant freaking elephant. I mean, what more do you want? What does a giant eagle have on a giant elephant? But I feel that the elves have an advantage here by having map control at least. He basically controls the entire map. He can spread his resources all around. And Mordor is stuck in a corner. So in Mordor's situation, you don't want to be in this situation generally. Not saying he can't win from this position, because he definitely can. But in an ideal situation, you don't want to let your opponents take control of the entire map. Eagle, very annoying when you have mounted heroes, or even heroes in general, as they knock him down. He may lose at least one of these Nazgul because of the knockdown. But he has to get them the hell out of there quickly. I think this Nazgul will die. Yeah, it's not looking good for him. Run, little Nazgul. There's no running. He's dead. But he did manage to save the other two, so that's good. And eagles don't level up, I believe. So it's not like he has to worry about that. No, they start at level 10. And they end at level 10. He does have a Gorgoth Spire, so potentially if the elves attack and he uses that properly, he could wipe out the elven army and then counterattack. That would be good. Also, the elves could be... he's bringing Ents of his own, but he could summon Ents as well. There's no real safe place to summon Ents actually in his base, if I'm perfectly honest. He would have to hit this with a flood before summoning Ents. He does not have a 25 power point yet. Power, I was going to say. But it looks like the elves are deciding to attack. And that's good. So let's see who wins this one. There's a tower here. Mordor towers shoot pretty quickly to make up for their inability to be garrisoned. There's a huge explosion from Gorgoth Spire, destroying the elven army entirely. Small arrow volley here, killing off some troops, but nothing big. Now we get to see the Momokill in action. Unfortunately, Eagle does a lot of damage to the Momokill. And he doesn't really have any rangers to assist in dealing with this Eagle. So his Momokill will die before he gets there, it looks like. And that's why flying units can be annoying when you're a team that doesn't have good archers. I mean, he does have these Harajam archers, but they're clearly not targeting him. And he's also dying to these elves. Oh, there's another one. As you hear the thunder of the footsteps of the Momokill. And Haldir here trying to take on an entire platoon of Nazgul and Mouth of Sauron. Nazgul does die, Haldir does die though. Also that charge, very good against heroes. Momokills are actually very strong against heroes. Turns out, if you can do the trample damage. Mordor able to reinforce his army very quickly. He has the ability to put out like a million pikemen or archers in no time, assuming he has cash. And he does get another Momokill, as well as some Corsairs. Corsairs are good. Meanwhile, the elves don't have a whole lot of anything, really. He has one barracks to build off of. In one stable. And it looks like the elves actually decided to quit. So, Mordor is the victor in this game. So we'll play to the Long Con. He won the game. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that game. I thought it was alright. A nice watch. And I will see you in the next game.